Now, in closing, it was just brought to my attention this week, and I couldn't wait to share it with you guys because I don't know about many of you out there, but for myself, it's news to me. I'm gonna take you back. Well, when we was talking about the ceiling debt, if you can recall the whole ceiling debt situation where Obama was and Boehner was going back and forth about raising the ceiling debt, and they was going to have a shutdown, and they was going to shut everything down if they didn't get the ceiling debt approved. That the nation was going to shut down. That state jobs, things of that nature. If you all remember the hype, due to the ceiling debt, if it was not passed, what was going to happen to our nation? It was going to just shut down within a matter of hours. The whole, everybody just got in an uproar. Wow. Well, guess what? What I had just discovered this past week, that the ceiling debt, people, has not been resolved. It is still lingering. And what I mean by that is they had made an agreement for the ceiling debt. So we were reported by the news. That's what Mainstream had told us, that they had reached an agreement. The Republicans came out high-fiving because they got what they wanted out of the ceiling debt. Obama was going to make these cuts, and the Defense Department was going to have their money. Okay. However, Obama said that they was going to put the decision in the super committee's hands to go over the provisions of the ceiling debt, and they were supposed to make a decision by the end of November of 2011. The super committee, bipartisan committee, was going to come in from both sides, and it was going to look at this ceiling debt deal in which the president, along with the Republicans, had made to keep the lights on. That's what they was calling it, to keep the lights on in America. Guess what? The super committee never were able to come together and make a decision. The super committee has been dissolved. After they couldn't make a decision in November of 2011, they had dissolved the super committee altogether. So what do that mean? That means that the ceiling debt is still in the air. The ceiling debt is still on the table. And guess what, people? The lights are still on. Remember, they was going to shut down the nation. They was going to close us down if they could not come up with a decision. See how they blow smoke up your behinds? See how they playing you like a two-bit? My boss said he got a little angry. Like a two-bit. You know the rest. This is what's going on. The lights are still on, and yet no decision has been made. How are we doing this? BS. Games. What I tell you? Just when you get pissed off at me for saying, I'm telling you right now, it's game. Both these chumps is on the same team. To get you all hyped up and aroused of what's really going on, man, it's a game. Because we're still moving forward without the ceiling debt even being resolved. Okay. With that, yesterday was a very important day, April 27th. I'm going to tell you why. And yet I haven't saw anything on the news. Well, I haven't had heard anything on the news. I'm quite sure y'all feel the same way about the ceiling debt has never been resolved, that it's still lingering. And the scary thing is, for Obama, it's going to be lingering over his election. So the Republicans got this Trump card in their back pocket. See, I'm hipping you to the game, people. I'm hipping you to the game. So when it happens, you're like, oh, I heard this. I heard this April 28th. Chris, he told me about this. Republicans going to pull this out their back pocket. And what they're going to pull out their back pocket, people, is that, hey, guess what? Ha-ha! The ceiling debt ain't resolved. It's still in the air. The lights is about to just shut down. Your president couldn't make a decision. The Republican, this is their Trump card. I mean, this is the game. You got to have a good guy and a bad guy. They're going to pull this Trump card out in your behinds. And everybody going to get scared. Oh, what's going on? But my listeners, y'all going to say, y'all going to sound like gurus when y'all tell the people, hey, man, this is part of the game. They're going to pull this Trump card out and say, ta-da, guess what? The ceiling debt ain't resolved. Your president about to get reelected. He going to take you down, and you need Mitt Romney to save you. Ain't nobody going to vote for Mitt Romney. Let's get that real. But that's going to be the hype. That's going to be the hype. Mitt Romney going to save you. So, I say April 27th was Yesterday was a very important day, and I'm gonna break it down to you. Here it is from the federal budget. It was a federal budget blog. I guess these people follow the budget. On March 21st, the House Budget Committee approved the fiscal year 2013 budget plan drafted by Committee Chair Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin. The Ryan budget proposal sets the spending for overall discretionary spending at 1.25 trillion. 1.25 trillion, just above 1.25 trillion, 19 billion below 1.5 trillion spending cap enacted in the Budget Control Act, the BCA. The proposal also replaces the automatic cut required under the Budget Controls Act with budget reconciliation instructions directing 6 House committees to identify necessary savings by April 27th. April 27th. This is where would these savings come from? What are they looking to cut? About half of the budget's 2.5 trillion in 10-year savings will come from healthcare programs, including healthcare reform programs. Food stamp assistance will be cut by an estimate of 133.5 billion. An additional 94 billion will come from the Pell Grants program for low-income college students. The plan extends the Bush-era tax cuts, including lower rates for capital gains, will phase out certain tax benefits for the working poor. They're looking to create cuts, and it was looking to make a decision to put this proposal through yesterday, April 27 of 2012. These are the cuts in which they're looking to make. Now, I haven't seen anything on the news, on mainstream media, talking about these cuts in which, you can look it up yourself. Committee chairperson, write his name down, Paul Ryan, Republican of Wisconsin, is recommending these cuts to go through that will affect the poor and working class people of this nation. The decision to pass this plan was made yesterday, yet nothing is over the airways talking about what decision was made. Was it shut down? Is it still on the table? Or did it go through? No one knows. Just like no one knew that the ceiling debt has never been resolved. No one knows. But you know now. Thanks to the brother who kicked in the gate, that they tried to lock me out so I will not tell you what's going on, but now you know. Now you know. And this is what we're looking at. So